Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to get you well informed on the topics that really matter. And today we're diving into something absolutely fundamental in our digital lives, safe transaction practices, especially in the crypto world, right? It's fast, it's decentralized, there's no bank safety net. So every click, every single action carries, well, a lot of weight. Our mission in this deep dive to give you the practical skills, the mindset really, to protect your funds, protect them from irreversible loss, from fraud, from hacking attempts, all the stuff that's unfortunately way too common.
That's exactly right. And I think understanding why this is also critical is really the first step. In these decentralized systems, the stakes are just inherently higher. No intermediaries means, it means the responsibility is on you. A simple mistake, maybe you're distracted or you fall for a phishing email, that can lead to permanent loss.
Yeah.
Gone. We're talking sending funds to the wrong address by mistake or interacting with a dodgy smart contract. Those assets can vanish forever. Often there's just no way back. So yeah, our goal is definitely to empower you, give you the knowledge, the tools, so you can understand and handle these risks.
Okay, let's unpack that. Now, it might sound a bit strange to start here, but before we even think about keyboards or transactions, there's this crucial first step that honestly a lot of people skip over. It's about our own emotions.
It absolutely is. It sounds counterintuitive for tech stuff, right? But emotional detachment is surprisingly key for blockchain transactions. Think about it feeling rushed or that, FOMO, the fear of missing out on some big gain, or maybe just feeling confused, overwhelmed by it all. Any of those feelings can directly lead to expensive mistakes.
So what's the advice then, if you feel that pressure?
If you feel any of that rushed, pressured, confused, anxious, the absolute best thing you can do is just step away. Seriously, take a break. Breathe. The blockchain isn't going anywhere fast because real growth, sustainable growth in this space, it happens over time. Careful steps. It doesn't happen in one impulsive click.
Right.
Rushed decisions. They often lead to regrets, permanent ones.
That's such a good point. It's like building a mental discipline, isn't it? Learning when not to hit send.
Precisely.
Hmm.
It's building that calm, consistent approach. Your headspace, that's your first line of defense, truly.
Okay, so assuming we've got our emotions under control, we're calm, we're collected, let's talk about the tools. Our web browser, that's usually our main window to the digital world, right?
Yeah.
And for crypto users, it's more than just a window. It's a potential weak spot, a gateway that hackers are constantly testing. So beyond the mental side, how do we actually, lock down that gateway?
Yeah, digital gateway is a great way to think about it, and we can definitely fortify it. It boils down to a few key principles, really. The first one is all about minimizing your digital footprint, reducing your vulnerability. Basically, every bit of data your browser saves, every trail you leave that could potentially be a crumb for an attacker.
Okay, minimizing the footprint. What does that look like in practice? What are the actual steps?
Well, the first big one is setting your browser to clear cookies and cite data automatically, either after each restart or when you close all its windows. Cookies are those little files websites use to remember you, logins, preferences, that kind of thing. Super convenient, but they can be hijacked by hackers to take over your accounts.
Right.
So clearing them regularly is like wiping away potential evidence. You erase the clues attackers might look for. You'll usually find this setting in your browser's privacy and security section. Look for cookies and other site data, and an option to clear data on exit.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. What about ads? Those ads that seem to follow you absolutely everywhere. Annoying, yes, but are they a security issue too?
Oh, absolutely a security issue, a big one. Many online ads aren't just annoying. They can hide malware, code designed to infect your computer. And pretty much all of them are tracking what you do online. So second part of minimizing your footprint, use a good ad blocker, something like uBlock Origin or AdGuard. They don't just make browsing nicer, they're a crucial security layer. They stop malicious stuff from even loading. You usually get these from your browser's extension store.
Okay, so clear data, block ads, cleans things up. What else helps minimize that footprint?
Something super simple, but really effective. Restart your device regularly. It sounds basic, I know, but restarting your computer or phone clears out temporary files and, importantly, can stop certain types of malware that only live in memory. Some nasty programs just vanish when you reboot. Aim for at least once a week. Maybe more if things feel a bit weird.
That's a classic for a reason, I guess. Simple, solid practice. Okay, so we've minimized what we leave behind, what gets in. What's the next big principle for browser safety?
The second principle is about verifying and encrypting your connections, making sure your conversations with websites are private and secure. The absolute fundamental here is to only use secure websites, HTTPS. The SS means secure. It means the data flowing between you and the site is encrypted. Much harder for anyone to snoop. always look for that little padlock icon in the address bar.
Yeah, that padlock. Easy to ignore, but really important.
It is, and most modern browsers actually try to upgrade connections to HTTPS automatically now. Or you can often find a setting like always use secure connections in the security options to enforce it.
Okay, HTTPS and the padlock. Got it. What else falls under verifying connections? This feels important.
Okay, this leads us to secure DNS. DNS, the domain name system, is like the internet's phone book. When you type, say, google.com, DNS translates that name into the site's numerical IP address so your browser can find it. But here's the catch. Traditional DNS lookups, they're not encrypted.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, most people don't. It means a clever attacker could potentially intercept that lookup request. They could redirect you to a fake website that looks real, even if you type the address correctly. To steal logins, for example. That's why secure DNS, specifically the DNS over HTTPS, DOH, is so important. It encrypts that phone book lookup, makes it much harder to hijack. You can usually turn this on in your browser's network or security settings. Often you can choose a provider like Cloudflare, that's 1.1.1.1, or Google, 8.8.8.8.
Wow, okay. That's like adding privacy to a step I never even knew was happening, are there? Even deeper ways to verify sites. More advanced stuff.
There is, yeah. This gets a bit more technical, but it's good to understand the whole picture. It's about certificate authorities, or CAs. Think of a CA like a digital passport office for websites. They issue certificates that verify a site as who it claims to be, but not all CAs are created equal. Some might have shaky security themselves, or in some cases, they might be pressured by governments for surveillance.
Okay, so how would you even know if a CA is trustworthy?
It's tricky. Generally, your browser trusts a list of CAs maintained by your operating system. For most users, you don't need to mess with this. But for high security needs, you might occasionally review that list. Signs a CA might be problematic, a history of issuing bad certificates, maybe being based somewhere you have concerns about government oversight, or just not being widely recognized. You can usually view and manage these trusted CAs through your OS settings like keychain access on a Mac or certificate manager in Windows. It's advanced, but part of the trust infrastructure.
Definitely advanced, but good to know it exists. Okay, so principle 1. Minimize footprint. Principle 2. Verify and encrypt connections. What's the final piece for browser security?
The third principle is about controlling entry points and protecting your identity within the browser itself. Your browser isn't just a window, it's where you manage logins, maybe extensions. Those are potential entry points. So first point here, only install trusted extensions. Browser extensions can be great, but they are a huge malware risk.
Yeah, I've heard about dodgy extensions.
They can be really bad. Seemingly harmless tools can hide code to steal information, your passwords, even your crypto keys or seed phrases. So always check reviews, look at download numbers, really scrutinize the permissions an extension asks for. Does it really need access to everything? Stick to well-known extensions from reputable developers, and regularly review what you have installed. You can find them in your browser settings or add-ons menu.
Good reminder. Convenience versus risk. Always a balance. What about passwords? Browsers always offer to save them. Easy, but
Yeah. Easy, but not the most secure option, especially for crypto. That's why we strongly recommend using a separate, dedicated password manager. Tools like Bitwarden, 1Password, LastPass, they use much stronger encryption than browser storage typically does. They can generate really strong, unique passwords for every single site, which is crucial. And they often check if your passwords have shown up in data breaches. Once you have one set up, definitely disable your browser's built-in password saving. Keep all those critical credentials in one highly secure vault. It's just good digital hygiene overall.
that makes total sense. Wow. Okay, so much of this comes down to being diligent, understanding these background risks. But okay, let's say we've done all that. Our browser's locked down, we're feeling calm, we initiate a transaction. How do we actually see what's happening? It can feel like transactions just vanish into the blockchain ether once you hit send.
Right. And that's where blockchain explorers come in. They are absolutely essential tools. Think of them as web-based search engines for specific blockchains. They let you see the public data stored on the network. They give you that transparency, that window into what's really going on.
What kind of stuff can we actually see with them? What are the key features?
Oh, they're incredibly powerful. You can do a transaction search using a specific transaction ID or maybe a wallet address. Lets you track any movement of funds. You can look up wallet information, see current balances, the entire transaction history for an address. You can find block information like when was a block confirmed, what's its unique ID, its hash, which transactions are inside it. And for people who want to go deeper, explorers Enable on-chain analysis, looking at aggregated data to spot trends, see what the big players, the whales, are doing, understand holding patterns.
That is a ton of data. Seems like you could get lost. How do you use them effectively, especially since there are so many different blockchains now?
That's a really good question. Using the wrong explorer is a common mistake. Best practice number one, always choose the correct explorer for the specific blockchain you're dealing with, like blockchain.com or mempool.space for Bitcoin, Etherscan for Ethereum, Solscan for Solana, and so on. Each major chain has its own popular explorers. Then make sure you're entering the right info, the correct transaction ID or address. Garbage in, garbage out, right? Take a moment to understand how the Explorer presents data. The formats can vary a bit, and critically, always verify the transaction status. Is it pending? Has it been confirmed? How many confirmations? Or did it fail? You need that real-time status.
So it's not just about checking if it went through, but understanding the details. Are there more kind of advanced uses for these explorers?
Definitely. For more advanced folks, this data isn't just for checking up. It's for insight. Some people use that on-chain analysis to try and spot market trends, maybe predict price movements by looking at transaction volume spikes or big whale movements, and a really practical use case for almost everyone. Explorers are vital for tracking your crypto gains and losses for tax purposes. Every transaction is recorded there, immutably. Explorers are how you access that history for your records.
Ah, taxes. Right. Good point. And what about when things go wrong? We've all seen that horrible failed transaction message pop up. Super frustrating.
Oh, it absolutely can be. But failed transactions on a blockchain are actually pretty common, and usually there's a clear reason. Most often, it's due to not enough gas. Basically, you didn't allocate enough funds to cover the network's processing fee for that transaction, or, relatedly, an insufficient transaction fee. Especially when the network is busy, transactions with higher fees get prioritized by miners or validators. If yours is too low, it might get stuck pending forever or just outright rejected. And simple network congestion can also cause delays or failures. Too many transactions, not enough space in the blocks being produced.
Okay. So if my transaction fails or gets stuck, what can I actually do about it? Am I just stuck waiting?
No, you often have options. First, check the transaction details carefully on the Explorer. Look at the gas price you set, the fee, maybe the data size, see if anything looks obviously wrong. Second, double-check your wallet balance. Did you actually have enough to cover both the transaction amount and the fee? Easy mistake to make. Third, you might need to adjust the transaction parameters. Usually this means increasing the fee or the gas limit, especially if the network is busy. Make it more attractive for processing. Keep monitoring the status with the Explorer or your wallet. And if it's really stuck, many wallets offer options to abandon or replace the transaction. You can essentially set a new transaction with the same sequence number but a higher fee, which effectively cancels out and replaces the stuck one. It gives you back some control.
This has been incredibly useful. We've really dug deep into building these safe transaction habits, starting with that internal check managing emotions before acting, then fortifying the external gateway, locking down browser security, and finally using the tools like Explorers to actively watch and confirm what's happening on chain. Taking these steps really does put you in control of your digital assets, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's about moving from being just a passive user to an active, informed participant. You're helping secure your corner of this decentralized future. And maybe it leaves us with a final thought to chew on. As digital assets, as these systems become more integrated into everything we do, what other everyday digital interactions should we start applying the same level of, meticulous security and that crucial emotional discipline? To think about online banking, sharing personal data, even social media. It's a mindset that really has value far beyond just crypto, what you say.